Your purchase history isn't just a record of what you've bought. It's a detailed snapshot of your financial habits, lifestyle, and even your trustworthiness to banks. And in today's world, banks are using this data to make decisions about you. In fact, they're probably looking at your purchases right now and making judgments without you even knowing it. Now, if you're thinking, but I buy stuff all the time, what's the big deal? You'd be surprised. What you purchase, how often, and where, all tell banks a lot about you, much more than you might realize. But the most interesting part? Many of us have no idea what banks actually see, and this could seriously impact your ability to get a loan, credit, or even a mortgage. Let's start with the basics. Banks use your purchase history to analyze your spending patterns. Think about it. If you're always buying luxury items, that sends a message that you're financially stable, or that you're trying to look like you are. But if you're making frequent purchases at budget retailers or constantly buying on credit, it could signal financial distress. Banks look for signs of stability. They want to see if you can handle debt responsibly, and how you manage money tells them a lot about your future creditworthiness. So what do banks actually look for? One key factor is consistency. If you're always buying things in a predictable way, whether it's for groceries, entertainment, or personal care, banks will see that as a good sign. Predictable spending means you're likely to handle repayments in a similar fashion. But if you're all over the place with random large purchases, they may get concerned. It's not just about what you're buying, it's about how often and how much you're spending. And then there's the lifestyle factor. Banks look at your lifestyle habits to gauge your financial health. For example, are you regularly spending money on health, education, or home improvement? These are seen as positive indicators because they suggest you're investing in your future. On the flip side, frequent impulsive purchases, especially on things like luxury goods, entertainment, or dining out, can signal a lack of financial control. This could make banks hesitate when considering you for a loan or line of credit. Now, let's talk about how banks use this information. It's not just about analyzing individual transactions. They also use patterns over time to make predictions. For instance, if your spending suddenly spikes or drops without explanation, banks might start asking questions. That's why maintaining a consistent purchase history can work in your favor. But here's the kicker. Your purchase history can also reveal your level of risk. Let's say you've been paying bills late, making impulsive purchases, or living beyond your means. This could show up in your spending habits, and banks will take that into account when they assess your overall financial risk. This is especially crucial when applying for larger loans, like a mortgage. If you're consistently spending more than you earn, banks might be more hesitant to approve you. And before you start thinking that this is just about what you buy online, it's also about your in-store purchases. Yes, banks can look at data from your debit and credit card transactions to assess your spending habits. That means every purchase you make, from the grocery store to a night out, is being analyzed. But here's something that might surprise you. Your purchase history could be used in ways you haven't even considered. For instance, if you're in the process of applying for a loan, your purchase history can actually help you demonstrate your ability to repay. If you've been consistently spending within your means and making purchases that show financial responsibility, you may be able to use that to your advantage. On the other hand, if your spending shows a history of risky financial behavior, that could make securing a loan much harder. Now, you might be thinking, how can I use this information to my advantage? The truth is, it starts with awareness. Start paying attention to your purchase history and how it might be perceived by banks. Cut down on unnecessary spending and focus on making consistent, responsible purchases. This could help paint a picture of you as someone who can manage debt, making it easier to get that loan or mortgage when you need it. Finally, here's a critical point that many people overlook. What you buy isn't just a reflection of your financial habits. It's a reflection of your values and priorities. If you're focusing on long-term goals like saving, investing, and improving your credit score, your spending habits will follow suit. Banks will see that commitment, and it will work in your favor. If you found this video helpful and you want more insights like this, consider subscribing. I dive into these topics regularly, and your support helps me bring you more valuable content.